member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you like it.
The original and basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
Bill Brasky. Hiya, folks. THACO's Hammer number 81. I am DM Glenn, grabbing some more conversation hearts, because it's that time of year again. I love these things. And right over here we got DM Brian. Brian, open your mouth. Here, let's see if I can toss it. Folks, that was DM Brian. We're going to have to... We're holding auditions for a new host. I think we just killed Brian. So...
Well, don't throw those damn things so hard. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, Glenn can't see that far, so he uses a slingshot. Let the man have his tools.
Well, I figured the internet would slow it down.
Glenn, no, I have high-speed internet. Save those natural 20s for your game.
Okay, and as you heard, that was DM Corey.
What's going on, everybody? We're here again, and as usual, we're all sober.
Yeah, and DM Full On Gamer. You want one, Full On?
Willkommen, Internets. THACO's Kriegsspiel, THACO's Hammer, 81.
Yeah. That's the extent right there. Yeah.
Yep. Greetings, Gamer Nation. We're back.
And let's head into Hits and Crits.
What are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? The burlesque, Louie's Paradise, miserable and lonely and stupid. What am I, crazy or something? I got something good here. What am I hanging around with you guys for?
Hits and Crits.
Hits and Crits. Hey, Corey, what you been doing?
Ready to start with me? Wow, hold on, let me put my drink down.
He says that every time.
Well, usually start with Brian. I've been busy. I've got a girlfriend, and I found somebody who failed their saving throw versus sleaze, and I now have a girlfriend. And
so how many characters have you killed in hers in your game now?
None. She hasn't joined yet, but she was in my old D&D party back in '90s, and we just met again, and everything hit it off right, and that all worked. But I just had one of the managers at my job decide to give me a call out of the blue and goes, "Hey, you got a second?" I'm like, "What do you want?" Like, because this guy never calls, you know. He goes, "Here, I need you to talk to my fiance." I'm like, "What the hell?" He's like, "Hey, I heard you play D&D," and I'm like, "Yeah, every other week." And she's like, "What edition?" I'm like, "The only edition, 2nd edition." And she goes, "F yeah, I want to join." And I'm like, she goes, "Do you have an extra space at your table?" And I'm like, I guess. She goes, "Well, it'll be me and Chris." And Chris, being the guy I work with, being one of the supervisors, she goes, "He's never played before." And then I hear him in the background, "I'm just going to drink at his bar and play his Xbox." And she goes, "The hell you are. You're going to sit down and learn how to play this damn game with me." All right. I guess I need 2 spaces. And I said, "And thank you for making sure Chris doesn't damage my bar, because I do enough damage to it." So I decided to take back over the DM reins of my game. I only got 2 sessions of actually playing D&D, but you know what? It's okay. We got fresh blood at the table. So I took back over, and last night was the first night that they joined. So Chris got to play a wizard, and halfway through, he was pretty much 3 sheets to the wind, doing shots, perk, spell cast, and, you know.
Jeez. That's not something you want in your spellcaster.
No.
That's true.
But, yeah, it was pretty enjoyable. She enjoyed herself. They are coming back. He told me she enjoyed herself. And Bree, Chris, if you're listening, glad you guys came. You're welcome back. Also, I wanted to say that a happy birthday to somebody who by association, I guess, is prevalent to this episode. Happy birthday to Rob Salvatore. It is his birthday today, so I thought I'd shoot that out there. So,
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Other than that, go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, okay. How about you, Fuller? What's up?
Oh, not a much. Just hammering away at the Old Republic, working on my stable of alts, and spent the Friday up at Dave & Buster's, putting hand-and-eye coordination skills to good practice.
Awesome.
Isn't that a fun play?
What'd you play?
It's all right. I did the speed of light thing a whole bunch of times and was getting much better at it.
Nice.
Dave & Buster's, Chuck E. Cheese for drunks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For drunks that used to be arcade junkies back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if they were back in the day, they put the good games, the old good games in there.
Well,
like
they
Dragon
used to, but, then they started doing, ticket games and all that kind of crap.
Hey, I used it to get tickets to go get stuff for my son's birthday. So
there you go.
Christmas shop or birthday shopping is done now.
You're that good?
No, I'm that cheap.
He's a military guy. He's got to do it on the cheap.
That's true. So what's up, Brian?
Oh, not much. Spent the last 5 days in Salt Lake City, Utah, and that's a pretty town, I have to say. I took some pictures. Yeah, it's like the whole town. It's sort of like Denver plus, and then I found out that because I'm up in the I'm up in the mountains on a valley surrounded by mountains. I forgot that, the sun's a little brighter and a little warmer up there. So, yeah.
Isn't that approach into Salt Lake wonderful?
I couldn't tell because I came in at at local time, I think it was like 11:30 at night.
You did the same thing I did. Everybody's going, oh my God, it's so dangerous. You're whipping, you won't. I didn't notice it was dark.
Oh, when I left on Saturday, I noticed that the pilot had to kind of, take a steep
incline.
Departure. Yeah, it's a steep incline to get over those mountains. Yes.
Yeah.
As my stomach was visiting my ankle, saying, "Hi there." But aside from that, just been playing Marvel Heroes, and
I didn't know you. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't know this, but I didn't know from what I've seen on Facebook. I didn't know you were a face rip junkie,
Glenn,
or a fanboy rather. I'm sorry.
We've talked about that. When we were comparing champion face rip.
So my disclaimer did nothing for you.
No, I never.
The goggles did nothing. I said I don't know why I didn't know this, but that's all right.
Wait, you're a what junkie?
Marvel
Face Rip. That's the system name for Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, TSR, Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's not a special attack. It's not a critical strike, much as it should be and is in certain games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at in my little bookcase over to my left, and I'm looking at the basic box set and the advanced box set, in the advanced box set also is a Ultimate Powers book. So yes. And as a matter of fact, speaking of that, I also found a Marvel Face Rip character generator that I've been screwing around with. Yes.
Yes, I have that too. That's it's really interesting, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's Java based and everything. It's awesome.
You can use the basic dance book, or you can use the Ultimate Powers book.
Yep. And the guy who wrote the program also sort of did his own little addendum to the Ultimate Powers book. So it all comes together. But yeah,
if you go to classicmarvelforever.com, you can not only get all the original stuff, you can get they have people who have rewritten the basic and advanced books.
Yep.
There's also one there called Ultimate. Was it Ultimate Talents? Ultimate.
Yes. Ultimate Talents, Ultimate Resources also.
Yes.
Yeah, and also in there you could have pretty much any superhero you want. Marvel, DC, frickin' probably, I can't remember that other comic company that came out in the
THACO.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Dynamite.
Whoever you want, it's in there, and it's all converted over to Face Rip. So
so folks, it sounds like we're gonna need a Face Rip Marvel game pretty soon. Somehow.
I'll run it. I will run it. if you guys are interested, because I saw the thread on Facebook that both you and I, Glenn, were participating in, and I'm I'll run it if people have interest, sure.
I said, I want to face rip, and it's like he's talking to you, and it's like, what am I, chopped liver? I want to play too.
Hey, all right.
And we got those 2 episodes that we did as an actual play with Vince running it, which is not on the website again for some. I mean, I tried to find them on OSR Gaming, and Vince moved them or something.
Huh.
But I was listening to those again and God, we had a lot of fun with this.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. So I mean, let's get the THACO's Hammer AP podcast thread on iTunes, going on a regular basis. Yeah, which reminds me.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what you did there? I saw that.
What happened?
Yeah. Just no, I just got to get. I've been talking about getting session 9 out, and I've got to do it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything aside from work, so I will get it out. I promise.
All right. Well, let's see. What have I been doing? Did the usual game, and remember I talked about got my Labyrinth Lord game coming up Saturday. Remember I talked about that Whisper and Venom box I got from Mr. Gnome? I handed the minis to Matt, and I said, paint them for me, please. And he's been putting pictures up there of progress of, like, the goblins and stuff, and they look really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw those pictures up on Facebook. They look really good.
Yeah, the people who made those minis are also the people who made that North Texas Minotaur I gave you.
Yeah, which has been cleaned, which has been scrubbed, which has been flashed, cut, and it is primed, sitting on the shelf waiting for me to cut it or paint it, rather.
Very, very nice.
When I get
it is. I'm trying to think of the name of the company.
I can't remember.
Advanced something miniatures. Advanced Fantasy, I believe it was, miniatures. Anybody you know out there, tell us, please. THACOShammer@gmail.com, jog my memory.
And also a great congratulations to Larry Elmore for the successful kickstart of his I Want to Write My Old New Book Again and release new stories, which he did successfully.
SnarfQuest.
SnarfQuest plus the people who were in on the Kickstarter, they went so far as to get the Kickstarter stretch goal of the video game app friggin' beta test is now going to be part of those that kick-started as well. Hell yeah.
And a congratulations to Greg Gillespie out there who got his Kickstarter going over the weekend for Barrel Maze Complete. He's putting Barrel Maze 1 and 2 together with new material, new stuff, and minis and things like that. And he's on Indiegogo.
Nice.
So yeah, it's like now that everybody sees the Kickstarter actually works, if people have the interest, now people are putting out a lot of Kickstarters. So yeah, by all means, find what you're into, contribute some money. You might get a little kickback on that. See what I did there? And go for it.
Yeah, because Wild Games Productions is the OSR advertising juggernaut, according to Eric at Lesser Known. That's what he sent the letter anyway. But it sounds good to me, and I like it. So yeah, we are the juggernaut of the OK. Anybody who wants to disprove me, go right ahead. I'll give you a Crown Royal bag if you don't.
Nice.
Yep.
The official dice bag of OSR. And that means we have emails.
Yes, we do. We most certainly have emails. If I could.
I like that. Can we put that in there? Show down. All of a sudden, bling, email.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it.
There we go. All right. Let's see now. We have. Whoops. No, we don't have that. There we go. We have a new emailer to the program. He goes by the name of DM Mooncusser.
Mooncusser?
Mooncusser.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a guru name for freaking vampire or werewolf.
No, Werewolf the Apocalypse right there.
What's your name going to be? I'm going to be Mooncusser. Narr.
Okay, he says, "Good morning." Okay, this is funny. He goes, "Good morning, hemorrhoids." Wow.
I used to have those, and I took pills in a suppository.
Yep, and everything's all fine now.
The ball peen was really hard.
I'll bet it was.
Not like the claw. But not the craw, the craw. Anyway, go ahead.
It says, I've been slogging my way through THACO's Hammer, Spellburn, Save or Die, and Roll for Initiative podcasts. Lots of good dialogues and lots of good ideas, though I do have to admit that the THACO's Hammer crew seems to actually do a better job than the others of not edition bashing. Yeah, we go out of our way not to. Although there does seem to be quite a bit of setting bashing going on. I disagree.
We all have our preferences.
We have our we have our preferences. We have our dislikes. None of us actually said that something sucked. That's bad.
But we never tell you not to buy it, play it, or anything like that.
Yeah, at a minimum, we tell you cannibalize the bejesus out of it and use what you like.
Use what you like, discard the rest. To continue, I understand you may not like a saying, but be that as it may, I applaud your effort to supply an unbiased opinion on the settings. Though I will agree that in the future an effort should be made to have a guest DM who is a subject matter expert on the setting in question on the show to offer their take on
Moon Raper, Lord knows we try.
Did you just call him Moon Raper?
I told it again, Moon something.
Moon Custer. Don't you know him? He's got that giant space hamster mount.
That's right.
That's Ben Affleck, Moon Raper.
Oh God, that's funny.
You were the Palm and Phantom, Joe.
Wasn't that a James Bond? No.
That was Moon Raker.
Yeah.
And then it was spoofed as Moon Raper in James Bond.
Anyway, Lord knows we try to get experts on
Moon Cusser, we agree. We are working on trying to get associated experts on each of the appropriate.
Yeah, remember when we did the Birthright? We had Crispy on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We did Birthright, and we had Vince on when we did Ravenloft.
Yep. Yeah.
And then when we did Dark Sun, we had Mel Gibson. Well, I had a picture of him up on my desktop. That kind of counts, right?
Kind of, sort of. Well, as we're going to probably be doing Spelljammer here in the near future, and we have 2 people tapped for that. We're probably going to go with DM All Dragon. Because he's all over it, and and we could probably even pull DM Kojo in on it because he wants to do it.
We're going to give you what you want.
Oh, that was very nice. I see what you did there.
And if you're listening, Vin Diesel, this sounds like right up your alley. If you want to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah. He'd be the biggest star we could get. And the funny part is, I bet he'd do it too. Okay, to continue. I have one comment and 2 suggested topics. The comment is, your info states that you can find us on osrgaming.org, d20radio.com, Facebook, iTunes, AD&D.com, and Twitter under the THACO's Hammer, as well as our home, which is www.thacoshammer.in, from which we stream all episodes for present day. Basically, he's just cut and pasted what I usually post in every post for a show I put on the message boards and Facebook. The issue is, from which we stream all our episodes from the beginning to up to the present day, this is incorrect. All of the other Wild Games podcasts have links directly in the show descriptions, as well as a Meet the Cast section on the page. Why does THACO's Hammer not follow suit? 80 splat books in, come on, boys, I know this can be done.
Because we're radicals.
And we're lazy.
Remember when you were back in school? Sorry, I'm trying to get DM Moon Cusser. Remember when you were back in school and those 3 guys that sat in the back and drew on their desk and they talked during class and they didn't do any homework? That's us of Wild Games Productions.
Yeah,
that's us.
I sat in the front and read Samurai Cat.
Wow,
you're a nerd.
Just off the teacher.
And I've always described us as the ESPN Sports Center of Wild Games Productions.
Let's see.
That does not make me Terry Bradshaw.
No. If you're talking ESPN, that would make full-on Keith Olbermann. I'd be Stuart Scott. Corey would probably be Dan Patrick. And I think you'd be Chris Berman, Glenn.
Wait, can I...
How am I Keith Olbermann? Olbermann sucks.
Wow. State your opinion, why don't you full-on? Okay, I was just saying...
The guy who got fired, from MSNBC for being a douche?
Yeah.
I want to be Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
Terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's terrible. Okay.
Tickles have been very, very good to me.
Yeah, exactly. But to answer his question in all honesty, not only do we have all the methods that way to access the show, we also put the feed burner up for it, so that if you wanted to download the show directly and not go through iTunes, and yeah.
My question to you is, and I mean to interrupt you there, Brian. Mooncusser looks like he's saying that we say that we stream all the episodes from the beginning. This is incorrect. All of the other podcasts have links directly in the descriptions of the show, as well as a Meet the Cast section. He's not looking for the shows. He's looking for a full description on each of them and a Meet the Cast section of us. Is that what I think you're asking there, buddy? Because that's
I'm a full-on gamer. You can find me everywhere on the internet. Just look for full-on gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread thin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm on the message.
I think we could do a Meet the Cast. I think we can do a Meet the Cast. It's just, you know what it was? We've gone, if you haven't listened, Glenn has essentially been here from the beginning.
Yeah, from episode
It was originally Brian, it was originally Glenn and I.
Yep.
And then we started, and then we picked up Bad Mike.
Yep.
Right? Glenn?
Yeah, that was episode 2.
Me, Glenn, and Bad Mike. And then Bad Mike had, coincidentally, ironically, a bad mic.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thanks. And then I went, dude, I know this great guy over on what the hell is that website called?
Oh,
Dragon's Foot.
Dragon's Foot. Let me go get him. So we went and grabbed Brian.
I knew that.
And then we grabbed Brian. And the problem is we do a Meet the Cast. We're going to have to keep updating it. But you're right. It's been 80 episodes, and it is the 4 of us now, and
just put
we could do
this on there, yeah.
Well, you know what? To be completely honest about it, the Meet the Cast was in the episodes in which we debuted. You know, you and Glenn, Corey, you pretty much gave your gaming histories. Bad Mike gave his gaming history when he came in episode 2. I did it in episode 4. Full-On did it when he came in episode 20.
Yeah,
so,
I'm a noob. I know.
If he's not too busy.
Yeah.
And you said he'd be busy until Gary Con. I can talk to Jim Wampler, who redid all the websites.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he did. He gave us, actually Vince gave us.
So I could say, hey, dude, if we give you the info, could you put up like a Meet the Cast or, whatever for that?
Yeah, for sure. That's no problem.
Actually, if you guys want after we're done, I'll just harass Vince because I enjoy that.
Yeah, I've noticed.
This new show of ours is going to be fun, I can tell.
Uh-huh. All right, let me continue on with his email because he's not quite done yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Keep reading.
Yes. Let's see. My first topic suggestion is shades, and he says in parentheses, no, Glenn, not the window kind. He says, I'm currently reading the Aravis Kale books, and shades deal prominently in them. I'm curious to get your take on them, as well as how you see them being used in a game scenario, possibly as the basis for a full-on campaign setting. What about characters? Oh, God, yeah, I know you'd love this one, Fawn. What about characters who may be shade touch? That is, somehow infused with some shadow stuff so the characters maybe have shade or exhibit shade-like abilities. Thoughts?
Yeah. Okay, you guys talk about it. I quit. See you later. If people are starting to predict my jokes, I might as well leave now. Oh, yeah, don't go, Glenn. Okay, fine.
We love you, Glenn. We don't want
Glenn, don't leave. I don't want you to leave, man. Don't leave me here with these guys. You're the only one who drinks with me.
It's true.
That's right.
When you're
Pass the damn bottle, will you?
Well, you know what? I can put together something about shades. I can put together a show about it. I've never personally done it because, we
haven't done a snipe hunt on the shades.
No, and yeah, we can do that too. And you know what? As we go through this episode,
we can probably inject it in this one because it's a Forgotten Realm specific critter. So
no, it's
good
not.
Idea.
No, it's not in the regular monster manual.
It is
first edition, yeah.
Well, yeah.
You have to go back to first edition for it. But anyway, to continue. Second, can you cover the tieflings in depth, including the changes that were made from second edition to third edition to fourth? Now, yeah, he might be asking a little much here. I know it's
no, it's true. It is in I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I know you're reading. It is in the Planescape.
Yeah.
The monstrous appendix.
Mm-hmm.
It is in there, and then the other one that says like races of the sigil or something like that. There's another. I can't remember the name of the supplement because right now I've been drinking, but I know that there's another supplement that they're in, and they give the Aladrin, the
Walker's Handbook. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
we could do it.
Well, no, we actually kind of did it when we did our Planescape show. You know, but
we did. He specifically asked for Tiefling.
Yeah, we can go into depth about it.
I don't know about the three of you guys, but as far as I'm concerned, we're gonna, Mr. Moon Cusser, you're the one who asked for it, so you're gonna have to wait until we find an expert on third edition that can talk about the third. If you want us to compare them between second and third to fourth, because none of us here know the Tiefling from fourth, as far as I know.
Excuse me.
I don't know fourth, but I can talk third.
I can talk third too.
Okay, well, as long as you guys can talk third, I mean, I'm just saying that I can tell you what it's like in second, I just can't tell you what's going on in third and fourth.
Right. And I'm in the same boat. So, yeah, we could probably do second to third, but, yeah, I don't know anyone.
You want to talk about fourth, Mooncusser, let us know.
Yeah, come on.
Without without edition bashing, other than it's like everything else and it all has superpowers.
Exactly. Let's see. He says, thanks for taking the time to read this long email, and look forward to more Splat books.
We love you, Mooncusser.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Thank you, Mooncusser.
Mooner.
Wow.
Damn it, Moon.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, we can certainly do that. And, you know, I'll make sure to put in the show notes, and we will get to it at a later date. Okay. Excuse me.
Did Corey want to read one?
I did want to read one.
Okay, go for it.
I posted it up there. I just didn't know if Brian saw it or not, and he kept going. I was like, all right.
No, I didn't. Go ahead. How about the one from Dan Highland? How about that?
Dan? Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Yes, I want to do this one.
Do it up.
All right. This one emails from Dan Highland. Greetings, Gamer Nation, or hey, THACO's Hammer. This is Dan Highland. I heard you mentioned for Golden Glory in spot book 79, and I thought I'd educate you so you won't have to research it yourselves.
Good.
For Golden Glory is indeed an AD&D 2nd edition retro clone written by Justin Brown and aims to follow as close to 2E as, say, Labyrinth Lore does to BX, I think. It is not a what if Gygax developed his new edition take on 2E. That would be Adventures Dark and Deep, the other one.
Okay, thank
Nor
you.
is it a 2nd edition influence game with streamlined and modernized rules like Myth and Magic.
Right.
While both of these games are good, they don't fill the niche for Golden Glory that for Golden Glory is meant to. The one left by AD&D 2nd edition itself.
Right, you're right.
Well, I didn't write this game. I didn't write the game. I got into proofreading the drafts because of your show. After happening onto your podcast around Splatbook 15 or so, I took to the internet to seek out more of the 2nd edition goodness that I had forgotten during my dark days of playing 3rd edition. Dark days indeed, sir. While looking, I found a post from your For Golden Glory's editor, Moses Wildermuth, who was looking for a proofreader to help finish off the book, so I volunteered. To make a long story short, after Justin released his finished version of the game, I decided to lay it out, illustrate it. You illustrated it? That's awesome. Wow. And complete Justin's draft of a bestiary, which were dropped from development shortly after I signed on as a proofreader. It's not yet done because I'm slow at drawing. Ha ha ha! Anyway, but eventually I'll have enough subpar art in it to put up for print on demand. In the meantime, I've been putting up PDFs of my partially illustrated working copies for free at Lulu.com. He provides a link in the email so people can use the rules. Go and download it, and what your show has helped to inspire will come back around full circle. Dan.
Awesome.
I'd like to see this when it's done.
That's a perfect breakdown.
Golden Glory. Yeah,
Dan,
we'll give it a fair shake and a full review.
Dan, expect an email incoming shortly.
Can't be that desperate for work.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I want to help. If I'm helping support the 2nd edition, I've been drawing pseudo-free artwork for over at Basic Fantasy RPG. Fill in their monster manual with 3/4 of my artwork. If I can help a 2nd edition, Yeah, well, you know that's not second edition. If I can actually help a second edition clone, I'd feel more honored than. I mean, I love helping Solo Mariah and Smooty. If you guys are listening, I still love you guys. I know I haven't been on the website for them for a while, but if I can actually help D&D second edition clone, I'd be happier than that than any other.
Right. You're right.
I think we should jump on this, Glenn. You and me. We should.
You know what? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Thorky wants me to do stuff. Anyway, sorry. Something came out there. Sorry.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a damn thing.
But I do want to add real quick. I totally forgot. I promised a shout out. Everybody listening, I want you to make sure you keep your eyes out for a new book by the author Eric Scott Debye for a new world called World of Ruin. It's post-apocalyptic, but check it out because yours truly did the map on the inside cover of the novel.
That's right. It's Forgotten Realms, right?
No, it is not. It is post-apocalyptic, but it is more like it's not post-apocalyptic zombies. It is more Thundar the Barbarian.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. That works.
Leaning more towards the Mad Maxian side.
Yeah, more like Eberron with the steam works.
Oh, I love that.
Post-apocalyptic. But yeah, you gotta check it out. Eric's got the vibe, great author. Check out the books. All right.
Carcosa. Yeah. I was looking for a place to put Carcosa.
Nice.
But yeah. So, excuse me. You want to do one more, or shall we call it here?
Thank you. Who was
that? That was Dan Highland.
Thank you, Dan.
No problem, Dan.
Good email. Go ahead. One more.
All right.
Flip a coin.
See. Okay, yeah, this is pretty easy. This one's from our friend and sometimes contributor to the show, Angelic Doctor. He says, "Good day, gentlemen. One representation of the mage has always bothered me a little, whether it be in cinema or in popular literature, is the image of the mage becoming exhausted immediately upon casting a spell, whether it be sleep, fireball, et al. I see nothing in the core rules to negatively affect the caster in this way. Where does this come from? Do you impose some sort of physical penalty on your magic users once they do the same?"
What? I do not. I definitely do not. I don't support such things, and I even frowned against it when they tried to make it part of the force use system in the D20 system Star Wars role-playing game, where you had to bleed off your hit points, your vitality points, in order to use force powers. I dislike it intensely.
That's from Angelic Doctor.
Yes, it is.
What's up, dude? All right, I'm sorry. I just connected the dots in my head. I'm sorry. It's slow tonight.
It's all right. It's all right.
Well, I understand his concern. I mean, that kind of thing you see that in a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on the genre, depending on the game system.
Right.
I'm not too crazy about it for D&D.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of inject it as a role-playing slice element, when the wizard gets the point of, I'm out of spells, guys, I'm really not too useful, except I keep making multi-purpose mages who like to beat on people with iron-shod quarterstaffs, so I really don't care if I'm tired because I'm out of spells. I'm gonna stab somebody, and they're gonna notice.
Beat somebody over the head. Yeah, I don't do it that way myself either. I think it is more something of something that has kind of bled over from fantasy literature into gaming, really. I mean, the only way I could see it is if you were using spell points.
I think it bled over from comic books, too.
You think? Yeah, you might. Yeah, you know what? Going back to Doctor Strange in the 60s and 70s, I think you're right.
Think about mainstream comics. I mean, Champions, there you go, Champions again. Champions has a built-in system of endurance.
Mm-hmm.
That powers cost endurance.
Right.
You get tired. That's why you have Johnny Storm doing a mega blast, and then he's unconscious for 2 days.
Yeah, he does his Nova Flame, and he's out. You're right.
Yeah, and it's the same damn thing, because, throwing powers, throwing spells.
But if you're using a Vancian spellcasting system, you don't need that, because it's already inherently built in to balance the input of the character to the story in the game.
That's correct.
Yep. So
that's why I'm not too crazy about the fatigue part of it.
Yeah, as far as my campaigns, I mean, I don't add anything in it, but you know what? If a player came to me and was like, hey, I know that this is how they classically have portrayed wizards, what I want to do is I want to start being able to, I have some higher level scrolls that I know I'm not supposed to be able to cast. I have a percentile of, I have a chart for wizards who want to grab their master spell book and cast page 13 when they don't know the spell properly. Mm-hmm. So you might be able to do something of taking possibly temporary hit points as far as subdual damage, allowing them per level of the spell, per hit point taken, subdual-wise. You could actually knock yourself out using your constitution or willpower. I don't even mean constitution as far as the stat, but
right,
figuratively.
I usually just put them at risk of having whatever they're reading from explode on them when they try something like that. Like,
yes,
we've got
that's a good idea.
Spell book with like these 9th level spells in it. You want me to cast one? I really can. And see if the book goes in your hands when you do it. But if you're stockpiling them for future use and you're hoarding them horribly, or just like when spellcasters, I've had this happen in game. They've been casting spells, they run out of spells, and the next thing is they need a spell that they should have had memorized or didn't salvage, so they whip out their own spell book and say, okay, I'm going to cast Fireball from my spell book because we need one right now, but you guys owe me for this. And then watch that page from their book go and possibly take out the whole book with it.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know what? When it comes down to it, there's nothing saying that a character, say a 5th level wizard, couldn't use a scroll that has like a spell with like 16th level power on it or whatever. But the problem is there is a percentage chance that you can bork it. Because it's so above and beyond your pay grade, so to speak, that it could, have an adverse effect on you or your comrades.
Think about it this way. I know people know that I'm pro black powder or something like it in fantasy. Well, think of some magics like black powder. You can have all sorts of fun. Remember talking about the guns that would misfire and all that other stuff. That could be applied to spells, too.
Yep. Very true.
In fact, that's why the Game Mastery Critical Hit and Critical Fumble decks also include a whole thing on spells. For each.
Yep.
Hey, full on, only because I know you'll get it. What Glenn was talking about? Warp lock pistols.
Yeah, for sure.
Skaven in their warp lock.
And just to wrap up our email segment, we got some positive feedback from DanMan916 who wants to hear more of the AD&D 2nd Edition trivia game. He loved it. Yeah. We definitely got some good feedback on that. So, we're going to probably end up doing that, say, once a month.
Yeah, AD&D 2nd Edition trivia game, also known as Stump the Hell Out of Brian.
Watch Brian misremember all of his D&D information. That is.
Otherwise known as Corey guessing all the right answers and winging it.
Once again, Brian, how many druids per level starting at 16?
Oh, God. Was it 16, 3, 3, and 1? Something like that? It was some weird number progression, so yeah. I'll make sure that, I'll watch if I take a level 4 quest, I need to watch that.
But if you want to harass Brian about the trivia game some more, just talk to us, THACOshammer@gmail.com. Or the phone number.
The phone number is area code 405-806-0555.
Last episode I did it all by myself and I remembered.
Yes, you did. I was proud of you, Glenn.
So call in and tell us about your homegrown crossover of the Druids and the Bard system, which has the Farunian Idol system of only certain levels of Bards can be in existence.
Yeah, let us know about your D&B game. Druids and Bards. It's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's Druids and Bards.
Yeah, Dungeons and Bards.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, let's head on now to Dodge.
This is it. This is what? If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
Getting out of Dodge.
Getting out of Dodge? Okay, we got a twofer. Since we're talking about the Dale Lands in the show, for some reason. Yep. We've got Volo's Guide to the Dale Lands, TSR 9524, and the Dale Lands Area Supplement, which is 9392.
Yep.
Now, Volo's Guide that's pure Ed, right?
Yeah, that is Ed 100% from beginning to end.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is one of the few I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about it, Brian.
All right, Volo's Guide to the Dalelands. Okay, let's start with the original history. The Daleland supplement came out first, and I've got it. If I can pull up my reader, there it is. I was just reading a little bit of it. The Daleland supplement was written by Richard Baker III, who is.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Should you go a little wider at first for those listening at home who may not be Forgotten Realms fans?
Oh,
sacrilege! Anyway,
you can't.
For those listening at home, the Daleland is a large section of the Forgotten Realms continent that encompasses many trees, many forests, and
large
mountains.
is a misnomer for the greater standard zone of the Forgotten Realms.
You're correct.
It's one corner that just sits right in the middle of everything happens there.
Yeah. But if any of you out there who aren't Forgotten Realms fans don't know, it is one of the major areas of attention and or notice, I guess, when it comes to the novels, when it comes to supplements, when it comes to areas of intrigue and areas of interest. Now you can go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry. I just wanted to help those at home because, if you guys were talking about Spelljammer Planet, I'd be like,
think of it as the Midwest hooked up like Southern California with all these little suburbs.
Okay.
Because they got Dale here, Dale there. Everything's Dale.
I'll read a little passage directly from Volo's Guide to the Dalelands.
All right.
It says, the Dalelands, called the Dales by most folk who live there, are known as the breadbasket of the Dragon Reach because of the fine and abundant food crops these small wood-girt dales produce. It's one of the most beautiful pastoral regions of Faerun. The dales are well worth any traveler's time, but be warned. Many a wayfarer who sees them falls hopelessly in love with their beauty and their good-natured freedom, and subsequently think of dwelling nowhere else in all the realms.
Or if you're like me, I will take one look, say, it's a nice place to visit, give me a coastline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm heading back to Waterdeep.
Go live up in Comanthor, but then that's...
You got coastlines nearby if you like living in Symbia. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Or Zinnel Keep.
Yeah, Scardale, I'm just looking at the map here, and you got the Woods of Comanthor to the east, which is where Mr. Nora is.
Right.
Which is always a source of fun for every level of play.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, first level characters.
Who needs Undermountain? We got these.
Exactly. But yeah, as I was saying, the Dalelands, as you would think, have, their specific territories. Let's see, in alphabetical order: Arkandale, Battledale, Daggerdale, Deepingdale, Featherdale, Harrowdale, the Highdale, Mistledale, Scardale, the ever-famous Shadowdale, Cessarendale, Tarkaldale, which is the Lost Dale, Tesseldale, and Peshendale. And as I was saying, the Daleland supplement was actually produced in 1993 and, written by L. Richard Baker III. And since then, Ed Greenwood decided that's not enough. We need a little bit more. So he came out with Volo's Guide to the Dalelands, which was made in 1996. So you can take what's in the Dalelands and supplement it with Volo's Guide in instant campaign right there. Of course,
for those of you out there who don't know what a Volo's Guide is, Volo is a character in the Forgotten Realms, and these books were written in first person by him to be sort of a travel guide.
Yes.
This is one of the many that were written. There were 4 that were written by Volo, or in Volo's hand, and printed out for you to read a certain section of Forgotten Realms for the Dalelands.
Correct.
All of which are good and awesome, all of which you should have in your library, all of which you should never turn down getting your hands on, and can be cannibalized for any game system in any setting if you so choose.
Whether you get them with the maps or not.
Yep. Yeah, if you can get them with the maps, good, but you can probably find the maps out.
All of them, you had a map bound in the back that most people take and keep and then get rid of the book for some reason.
Yeah, it's true. But, as I was saying, each, in both of these supplements, there is a nice overview of each Dale, who is occupied there, who rules it, what their political leanings are, what their imports and exports are and things like that. I'm looking in the on the third page of the Daleland supplement where they ask, what are the Dales? Group of small farming communities, throughout the vast expanse of the ancient Elven court. And as time has gone on, the Dales have expanded because the elves have left that Elven court to go to, of course, Evermeet. And
once again, the elves have to leave the world.
Yeah,
they quit because of Myth Draenor. They said, let the humans deal with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like don't let the door of the forest hit you in the butt on the way out.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the way
let the monkey men clean up the mess. They can deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was that because they were afraid of the humans' rapid growth in power and expansion into their territory rather than sort of, they tried to work with them, but then, a couple of people got their hands on the wrong kind of magic, and well, the rest is history. The next question is, who are the Dalesmen? They're the first settlers of the region. They were immigrants across the Dragon Reach, and they've developed into a nation of tough, independent folk who are ready and willing to fight to preserve what is theirs, which is cool. Let's see. Then they say, what's there to do in the Dales? Of course, you can be an adventurer. Yeah. And
we got the ducks on the lake. No, that's the Dells. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. They give it a little history. Give a little history of the Dales going back like 1,400 years, up to the present day, which is like, I think, DR 1358, not 1350, I'm sorry, 1360. And then they go into the various powers of the Dales. Of course, you got the Cult of the Dragon, which is, a cult who is obsessed with getting every dragon they need to be a Dracolich. Right. You've got, of course, the Harpers, who, one of their biggest two of their biggest badasses being Elminster and Storm Silverhand, which is one of the Seven Sisters of Mystra. And of course you've got, the, oh God, I just lost my train of thought.
Zentarum?
Yeah, you got the Zentarum, the Red Wizards.
The Red Wizards of Thay, yes.
Yeah, they poke their nose in there every once in a while.
Yeah, but they're evil, but they're kind of money grubbing evil, so you can kind of deal with them a bit.
They're power grubbing evil.
Yeah.
They're always looking for magic to take over the world.
It's yeah.
What are we going to do this day?
Yep.
Same thing we do every day.
Yeah.
Just because it happens to be in the crossroad of everybody wants to invade somebody else, they have to go through the Dales to get there. Yep. They happen to be involved in what's going on with the latest invasion of the Elven Nation, who's going after Symbia or Cormyr or the Moonsea next. What is Zenzel Keep up to today? It gets everybody's nerves up in a twist.
The Red Wizards are like Ferengi who are wizards and want power and the buck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And, of course, you got, the Druids of Cormanthor who are, they're scattered throughout the forest and things like that.
Busy keeping all the demons in.
Yeah.
And elves.
Yeah, and of course, preserving the woodlands. Of course, as Pawan said, Symbia and Cormyr, they have their aegis there too.
King Ozin the Fourth, yes.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Azun the Fourth, yep.
Him and Vandergast, who's propping him up.
Yeah, and if all else fails, just head to the northwest, and you'll eventually run out of forests and start trudging across the Otterrock and welcome yourself to the desert.
Exactly.
Hey.
Yeah,
or you can go to the northeast and start traveling over snow.
Can you go? Do they have pod races in Otterrock? No, never mind.
You're crossing.
And if you need pirates, you can always go into the Reach and the Sea of Fallen Stars. Everything's at your fingertips. If you want sea, if you want desert, if you want mountains, if you want Underdark, if you want woods, if you want cities and intrigue, they're all there at your beck and call.
That's right. And let us not forget the darling of the RPGA, Raven's Bluff.
Yeah.
I love Raven's Bluff.
Raven's Bluff is cool. But so it goes into, now it starts breaking down each of the Dales There are the ones that they call them the rustic dales because, they're sort of like farming and backwater a little bit. Then there are the trading dales, which are more modern and densely populated. And then there are the fallen dales. Those are the ones that are no more because, over the years, they've just been, overrun or destroyed by whoever was invading at the time.
And then they have the naked dancer one, the Chippendales.
Oh Lord.
But,
that was awesome, Glenn. I was totally going with Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and you brought out male strippers. That was epic. That was epic.
Okay, then they go into the dales, individually. And as you're going through, they'll give you NPCs, places to stay, how law and order is in that area, what trade is, their defenses, the temples that are there, and so
how good the taverns are, and how many redheads are in them.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
We got some dwarf activity somewhere in there too, don't we? Or is that up past Mr. Nor?
Not really. And so, like I said, it goes into each dale, what's in the dale, what's going on in the dale, how they interact with the other dales, because they're not exactly all on the same page. Some have rather strong ambitions about how the dales should be, and then there are those who just would rather be left to their own devices. So, it's a nice little, shall we say, political mess. It's not bad, but it's enough to where an adventuring party can sort of make their way, just doing this, that, and the other thing. Excuse me.
Okay, Shadow Deal seems to be the key to the whole thing.
Yeah, for a bunch of different reasons. The first one being that's where Elminster's headquarters is. That's where his tower is.
Well, you got that big old palace there with what's his name running it too. Can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, the headquarters of Knights of Mr. Nor, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's Lord Morngrim. That's it. Yeah, Morgrim is the one who's in charge of the actual town of Shadowdale.
Right.
But yeah, he's one of the Knights of Mr. Nor, so, Knights of Mr. Nor is a famous adventuring company, and, they are charged with defending Mr. Nor from everything within it and keeping people, trying to go in and stealing ancient elven treasures kind of out of it.
And he's also a friend of the Harpers. So.
Yes, of course. And like I said, each dale gets a nice little gray box on the side, which gives the population, the inns, the taverns, supplies, any temples, how strong the watch patrols are, and any other information that the DM might need. So it's like all there in one spot. So if the DM's players are saying, oh yeah, we want to go over to Daggerdale. We want to see what's going on over there. What's the name of their inn? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Teshford Arms. There's, right there. And, and it's one of those where it's it's more of a, what's the name? I just lost my train of thought again. It's one of those things where there's a lot of conflict with the Zentarim in Daggerdale, and there's one guy who's basically trying to, bring it back to its former glory, which is covered in a,
yes.
Yeah, sort of the Dales trilogy, modular trilogy.
That was Darkendale, the Lost Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that guy. I remember that clown.
and so as you're going through it, you also run into some artwork, which I'm sure Corey can cover. Tag.
You want me to cover the artwork? Nice tag, by the way. The cover art was done by Cirulo Cabral. Great artwork, and I'm going to steal one of Glenn's comments here. His artwork is very
realistic.
Yeah, photorealistic. It looks like he literally put paint on a photo. Mm-hmm. It's well done. The interior art's done by a couple people: Teresa Brandon, Tony.
Now, who did you say did the cover again?
Cirillo.
John and Laura Lakey.
Oh, that's on the Daleland supplement. I think Corey's talking about.
Okay, fine. Yeah, same difference. Okay, go ahead.
Am I on the wrong book?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Good. Teresa Brandon, Tony Srnkovic, I don't remember how to say his name, Ned Dameron, and Valerie Valusik all did interior artwork. Cartography and the maps were done by David Sutherland III. I like the artwork simply because to me, the way that they're done are not like full beautiful, and I'm not insulting the artists here because they're not done full beautiful, modern day takes on medieval. It looks like somebody had a piece of charcoal in medieval times and was drawing what they were seeing. It looks like Volo was making pictures in his book, and the way that they use some of the.
I like the. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it just looks like it looks like charcoal drawings. A lot of them look like charcoal drawings. The texturing.
There's one guy in the Dale Lands book that I think there's only a few pictures of his stuff, but they all look like woodcuts.
Yeah,
I love those. I love those. I got a picture of Elminster here. It looks like a woodcut.
Yeah,
really pretty.
The artwork's really well done, and it really depicts the area and what you expected to see in those particular areas. Like, especially page 46, there's a picture of the Ankar's Manor. It's a ruined manor, estate, and castle. You literally go to the picture on page 46. It looks like a castle that belongs in Ravenloft.
Yeah.
It sets the mood for the area. So it wasn't they're just like, hey, draw us some scary pictures and some medieval stuff, and it actually fits and it's well done in my opinion. So I like the artwork in these.
And all of the cartography and maps you can also find replicated in the Forgotten Realms Atlas. If you zoom in on the maps as you go into the zones, you come into the Dales, you can take it all the way down to the city, the town layouts for every town that has a name, just about has a link in it. And if it's in the Volo's Guide, they have that map, town, city, tavern, whatever, already there for you.
Right.
And one more addition to this that I love, I gotta tell you, page 68 and page 69, me and my buddy made it. It is freaking delicious. Volo always adds in recipes for the places he goes to. There is a stuffed turkey pie. It is banging. Just had to add that in.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to try that.
I'm looking at this is almost like my mom.
And I guess the question is to the listener, which one should I get? Well,
yes.
Both.
Yeah, both.
Now, if you want the information and you want to run it, get the Dale Land supplement. If you want all that and be entertained, get the Volo's Guide.
And you want to go more in depth because Volo's Guide goes much more in depth than the Dale Land.
You get a lot of information in the Dale Land supplement, but the Volo's Guide will probably give you plot hooks aplenty too.
Yes, tons. Tons.
They always go to those.
Yeah.
Always go to those for plot hooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives you tons of crunch. I mean, it's like full on said. You can take any one of these Volo's guides and just take one little thing out of it and drop it in your own campaign, and no one will know the difference if you have anything on the ball. And it makes like I said, it's like you say, Glenn. You want to run it, sure. You can do the Dale Lands. It gives you just a little bit of gray area that you can play with.
It gives you enough info if they're going to ask a question you can answer.
Right, yeah, but if you want to really get in depth, go with Volo's Guide.
But want to go plot books and stuff like that and flavor. At the same time, I feel like I should address this. Because this is the kind of thing where some players, some DMs will go, that turns them off to the realms.
Okay.
Because all of a sudden the players expect all this if they know you're using it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where
don't be afraid to make it your own.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that we've always said. It's like, look, especially when it comes to Forgotten Realms, because a lot of players are familiar with it. They know what's there. They know who is what and who is where because they follow it. Some of them follow it rather slavishly, and they're expecting certain things. Like, the DM, you don't have to let your players hold your game hostage because they want all of this.
Well, it doesn't help.
Oh, the Tavern of the Lurking Half-Orc? No, that thing burned down 5 years ago. Trolls ain't ever been there.
Exactly.
It doesn't help they have all that literature about the realms too, from Salvatore on down. People eat those up and then expect it to be the same way.
And they expect you to be a storyteller on the level of a Bob Salvatore, and I don't know ADMs. Oh well, sorry. Present company excluded, Corey.
That's how Robert.
Hey, we're near Mensa Bronze. Where's Drizzt? That kind
exactly.
of stuff.
Like Drizzt ain't here.
He was supposed to leave a long time ago. However, his cousins are there, and they're happy to see you.
With daggers drawn,
Exactly. So, like I said, supplements.
Bolos went for I can't reach for one.
$9.95.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap, and so did these. This is the original price. Also, these area supplements like the Daylands also went for $9.95.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yeah, they were a really good value. For what you got.
You can find. I found them somewhat easy to find.
Yeah,
even the Bolos are somewhat easy. I'm having a hard time comparing anymore as far as going to a store. As far as the internet, well, caveat emptor. But as far as going to the store, I'm having a hard time because I pretty much cleaned out all 3 half-price books in my area. So it's they come up in your area. Not mine anymore. I bought them all.
Yep. Let's see. At Noble Knight right now, they have a very good condition Daleland supplement for $14, which is actually a good price.
Good deal.
It's a good deal. Now, going with Volo's Guide to the Dalelands, because that's a little bit more rare, excellent condition, $32. So you might want to look around. There's a nice little site I've been recommending called Abe Books. That's abebooks.com. Where they will have if you have if you know exactly what you're looking for, you can probably find it, because all those little mom and pop bookstores throughout the country and throughout the world, they kind of, they go on these sites and they advertise, hey, I have this for sale, I have that for sale. And you
also have the option, depending on the time of day, the season, and their desire for your money, you can also go to the Wizards website on occasion and get PDF downloads for pay of various TSR products, of which these are sometimes included.
And let me tell you, I talk about half-price books often because I've got 3 of them in my town. But if you don't have that, and there's another place you can look, Half-Price Books website has the Half-Price Books Marketplace.
There you go.
You can also, these are private sellers. This is not like they're selling it. So, like I said, caveat emptor, but I've seen some good prices on there too.
Yeah, you can find, if you do your homework, you can probably find one for somewhat close to list price.
And if you guys got it, tell us about it at THACOSammer@gmail.com. Let us move on to option package.
My personality undergoes a startling change.
You should meet me because I'm a great guy.
I like big fat men like you. When they fall, they make more noise. And sometimes they never get up.
Option package.
Option package. The Shadow Dale supplement from the second edition Forgotten Realms box set. I feel like we're repeating ourselves, but...
Well, we gave a little overview of the area. Now we go into a little bit of depth into one particular area. And, of course, it has to be Shadow Dale. Well, it doesn't have to be, because we have other choices, but I just said, you know what, let's just do Shadow Dale, and everybody who hates Elminster can write us hate mail. Who cares?
Because this is what was in the box, okay?
Yeah, this is in the second edition Forgotten Realms campaign box set, yes. It's a nice, 96-page supplement that gives you a complete overview of Shadow Dale from soup to nuts. And, by the way, if you have Volo's Guide to the Dalelands, they refer you to this supplement because they do not go into detail about Shadow Dale at all. They just say, get this supplement. If you have this supplement, refer to it. Because it just goes into the history. It goes
or you can use the Dalelands supplement.
Yeah, you can do that. That gives you a little brief overview, but this thing gives you the skinny for sure. It has the funny part is, as you go through the book and go through the supplement, you'll find that it has these very rare magic items, like the Pendant of Ashaba or Omri's Staff of the Hulk and things like that. And and like I said, it gives you a history going from probably right around Elven times, and it goes right up to the present day where Lord Morngrim is, Lord of Shadowdale, and of course, Elminster's in his tower, doing whatever he's doing. It gives you a good overview of everything that's happening in Shadowdale or has happened, and it gives you a wonderful 2-page map on pages 12 and 13 of exactly where, everybody, the residents' farms, the little town and the roads that go through it and things like that. And with this, a DM can say, oh, I can put, this dungeon over here. I can put this dungeon over there, and, it's just not something that anybody either knows about or has really bothered to investigate. So, it gives you little blurbs on, the little areas in Shadowdale, like Elf Leap, which is a rise of ground to the north and west of Toad Knoll and Castle Grimstead. And there's a legend that says 300 years ago, there were two elves there that were surrounded by drow forces, and rather than surrender, they just basically kissed each other, drew their weapons, and leapt to their deaths on the spears of the drow attackers. So that's why they call it Elf Leap, and things like that. Interesting little things, about the area. And then it goes into the different farms, and there are a couple of, as you might realize, there are a few adventuring, retired adventurers, shall we say. And they're, different a bunch of different farms. Then they go into the village proper. And, it gives you an overview of what's in there, which is a nice little map with, a nice little key. And it gives you, everything from the Old Skull Inn to, Elminster's Tower to, boarding houses and, a house of a midwife and healer and things like that. And it's a wonderful thing. And not only that, there are also, once again, Corey, there's nice little artwork in it, too. Tag.
Whole lot of more woodcut type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They also got some very excellent maps, very detailed. Everything from Elminster's Tower to, the Old Skull Inn, places that characters have a propensity to end up in. The Twisted Tower of Ashaba, very nice layout for it. All good classical stuff. Yep. Artwork is cast throughout again, a little bit more separating between the woodcut type stuff and then some good ashen type of charcoal-y stuff, but still all very nice.
Right. And, like I said, it also goes into, basically, I'd say probably 1/3 of this book is, all the things that are in Shadowdale, places of interest and things like that. And then there's, of course they do Elminster's Tower, or at least 3 levels of it. They don't go any further than that, which is kind of funny to me. And then, on top of that, which we'll cover in our next segment, they actually do the Twisted Tower of Ashaba from beginning to end, from the tower, and goes down into the dungeons and things like that, but we will get to that. But
Cave Badger.
Yeah, exactly.
Sublord.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, they're, in this, they actually give a really detailed breakdown of the Old Skull Inn, going from the different rooms and the different rates the rooms can garner and things like that. It's actually really nice. When it comes to that, this is the Old Skull Inn, the way it's broken down in here, this could be like the blueprint to every inn that any DM comes up with. It's like, look, it has a ranging of wide variety for a different levels of clientele, and it's really, really cool. Like I said, it gives you little, as you're going through it, has, the temples and shrines, things like that, and also the NPCs that you might actually run into. Like, let's see, there's one called, Jamble the Eye, who's basically he's a former criminal who now steals legally, and he speculates in interesting and odd items from Suzail to Hillsfar, which is actually a pretty wide area.
Right.
And, it's, little things like that. A lot of these...
Not to mention the cool description of the staff in the old Skull Inn as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they give you enough to flesh out so you're not like, the cook/waiter, THACO, comes out and goes, here's your meal. It gives you enough of a personality to realize he's a vain SOB who wants his talents noted. And, they give you enough in it to show you that you can bring this tavern to life. You can pull this tavern out. Say you don't want to do Forgotten Realms. Say you do Dragonlands. Fine, pull this tavern out, throw it anywhere else you want, and it'll work just as good.
Exactly.
Sorry, just as well.
I'll send in my expert, Sir Gordon of Ramsay, and see if he's still
Hey, they like the swashbuckler tales and stuff to happen in this just because that's the character of things that come out of the Dales in general, to the point where even the large window on the second floor is labeled on the map, large window dash emergency exit, because somebody's going out it, probably at a sprint.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the thing is that now what?
I wasn't kidding. It's on the map right there, page 29.
No, but do they have a front window? I was flashing onto Mystery Science Theater. Master Ninja with Timothy Van Patten. Hi, I'm Max Skiller. This is how I exit a bar. They throw him through the window. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. And also, not only is the Twisted Tower, there's a dungeon underneath it, but it is the center of the government in Shadowdale. That's where Lord Morngrim and his wife, Lady Cheryl, I think that's how it's pronounced. That's where they reside, and that's where a lot of the town guards reside as well. So it's not only that, it's also the base where.
So go ahead, try and sneak in it.
Yeah, you know what? The funny part is go ahead.
They have 50 second-level fighter men-at-arms and 10 third-level fighter men-at-arms and another 30 archers just in the tower itself.
Yep. So, and not only that, they can also pull from the various residents to help in defense of the town. So, Shadowdale is not going to... And then, of course, you've got the big howitzer sitting there in his tower, Mr. 27.
Yeah, well, I was going to have him put a sign. My Shadowdale was going to visit. Welcome to Shadowdale. We have Elminster. Mind your manners.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So...
home of Elminster.
Yes, home of Elminster, Sage of Shadowdale, exactly. So, this is the first thing. I think this is sort of like the blueprint from which the Ed Greenwood decided to do the Bolos guides, because everything is in really good detail, and I like it a lot. If I was running a campaign, a Forgotten Realms campaign, and I decided to do the common thing and start it in Shadowdale or the Dales in general, I would use this.
I didn't start in the Dales for Forgotten Realms.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Well, me being a Southern California guy, I gravitated towards Waterdeep.
Of course.
Port County.
That's other common thing to do. It's like, the Dales, Waterdeep, or if you're going to be a real Drizzt fanboy, 10 Towns.
10 Towns, or now that the video games and such are out, Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Neverwinter,
Hey, Flan.
Yep.
Gotta give it up for classic Gold Box there.
Yep.
Yeah, Flan.
Yep, absolutely. And
I say screw it all. I go south and go Chult.
Oh man!
Hey, I had a game.
Sweat your head off.
DM Alley ran a solo game with me for a little while, and that's what we did. We went down to Chult, which was I was like, this is different. I have no problem with this.
Until you read why they have a T-Rex on the cover of the box set in the book.
Because we killed a dinosaur. We did.
The nice thing about Chult is it's great for those players who can't afford anything better than leather, because they're not going to get hot and sweaty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, make sure you have bracers of defense for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. These guys would run around with chain and flame. Look at them; they're like basting in their
roasting in their own juices for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, if you wanted to get into the realms or the Dales as your start-off place for the realms, and you were still using splat books, you could always dip into the Warriors and Priests of the Realms or the Wizards and Rogues of the Realms, which has individualized per Dale breakdowns of advantages and disadvantages for being from any particular Dale within the Dale lands.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's something I neglected to even think about, but yeah, I remember reading that supplement, and it's like, yeah, being from one Dale, you get, you get X, but if you're in, say, an opposing Dale more or less, yeah, you got troubles. You got problems, for sure.
And I found out the Dale lands are very Myrmidon friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For those of you DMs out there who always get that one guy in the party when you take him to a tavern and he's like, I'm going in the corner and I'm shooting dice with whoever's there, or I'm going to go and play some card games.
Mm-hmm.
Pick this up. On page 38 is a game called THACO.
Yep.
It is a dice game. It gives you the rules. So your player, if he wants to role play, you always are like, okay, so you're over there, you roll a couple dice behind the screen, you made 4 gold. This is an actual dice game.
Yep.
Since the players are probably sitting there bored making dice towers at your table while you're trying to describe the town, you can have him actually dice with other players at the party. There are rules for this game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Sure.
No, they need Fizbin. But
no, it's
outside we play Calvin Ball. But
nice. Good call.
But yeah, so this is in the box set. Unfortunately, I do not have the box set.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the box set with Elminster on the cover, right?
Yes. No, it's the one with Midnight is more pronounced, but Elminster is on the cover.
Okay, it's jumbled up one. I keep thinking of the silver box with the warrior on it.
Yeah, but you mean the dark gray one? Yeah.
Yeah.
The old dark gray box set for the 1E Forgotten Realms box set. This is the realms. Here's all your books. Boom. It has a cover like from the old.
I didn't know that was 1E.
The original novel.
Yep, that's 1E.
Yeah, I didn't know 1E made any box sets.
Yeah.
1E did box sets, and Forgotten Realms was one of them.
Yep.
But this is the 2E. Says in the bottom right corner, AD&D Second Edition.
Okay.
Forgotten Realms campaign setting.
Gotcha. Yep. The closest I got is the Forgotten Realms Adventures hardback.
Mm-hmm. Which is a nice supplement in
Wait,
itself.
isn't Beckme first edition?
No, Beckme is basic.
Beckme is basic, yeah.
I thought that the blue one or the black one was the advanced.
No, that was.
So that's all basic.
Yeah, it's all basic. Yeah, they went basic, expert, companion,
I can never
master.
remember. I know what they are. Yeah, I know. Immortal.
Yeah.
The black one is the master rules, which is number 4.
Okay, so all those box sets were just basic. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, basic. Anyway,
I'll ask this several more times before I actually get it.
Glenn?
Yes.
You could find on Noble Knight, they actually have the second printing in fair condition for $20, which is a good deal. That's almost list price, as a matter of fact.
Well, the friggin' list price is $30 for the box set, so hey, that's a steal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Basic, second, torn between 2 editions.
Feeling like a fool.
always.
And then set it all underneath the Kinder Mountain.
So that's one box that I wouldn't mind having is the 2E. I want to see. I remember the dark gray one. I want to see what they changed in it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
actually,
the paper is white instead of yellow.
Yeah, I think the first edition paper was cooler.
Well, either way, I'd rather have the second. I've seen the first. But anyway, those who have, tell us. THACOshammer@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you take any part out of this and use it, we want to know about it. Send us an email or send us a voicemail. Let us know what's going on.
This should be fun.
Sure. For sure.
And we are on to DM's Rag.
Well, that's quite a story.
I think it would be fun to run a newspaper.
And here it comes, right over the old plate.
The DM's Rag.
DM's Rag, Beneath the Twisted Towers, which is a Shadowdale supplement. Now, is this is a regular sold supplement? It's not part of a box set or anything?
No, it's in the
No, it's inside the Shadowdale supplement.
Yep. Yeah, roughly one half of the supplement is describing Shadowdale, and the second one is Beneath the Twisted Towers. It's an entire adventure.
Okay.
They kind of did it old school style. Remember back in the the basic book where they had the adventure in the back, the introductory adventure. It's the same concept. Yep. Beneath the Twisted Tower is an adventure for parties first to third level set in under Shadowdale after the Time of Troubles, of course. Yeah, that's where most of the second edition box set starts. The subject go ahead.
I said that's the only improvement on the Dales I really liked.
What's that? Oh, after everything happened?
After Time of Troubles. Everything else after that was garbage.
As
far as I was concerned.
Let's see.
Left it there. Anyway,
yeah, they probably should have. But, there's a whole plot and line of debate on that. I won't get into it. It says, the subject of the adventure is the tunnels connecting the Tower of Ashaba, which is known as the Twisted Tower, that are rumored to connect to the kingdom of the Drow who once occupied the tower. So, they're basically thinking that, the dungeons underneath the tower connect to the Underdark, which is a bad thing.
Could be.
Mm-hmm. So, basically what it is the adventure's numbered in sections 1 to 10 and subsections within each section, of course. Each section and subsection contains encounters and NPCs relevant to the location of the PCs at that point in the adventure. If the PCs enter that location, seek out that NPC, the encounter takes place, blah, blah, blah. So, basically, this could be more or less, the players are in the Old Skull Inn or something like that, and there are at least, I'm looking at it, there are at least, 2 or 3 ways to get the players to go into the dungeons underneath the tower. And, of course, it's a sort of like the Shadowdale's Keep on the Borderlands kind of thing. At least that's the way I see it. Except, of course, it's a little bit more in-depth and a little more...
Good descriptor.
Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly.
Works for me.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm just reading into it, and the first 2 chapters, the second chapter is where the PCs actually get, start entering the tower, entering the dungeons underneath. They could be hired, or they could actually find an interest and decide to sneak into it. Which would be an interesting thing to happen should they survive and make it out, because then you got to deal with the local law, and that's not a good thing. So there's it starts, like I said, the dungeons, it starts with a bridge, and then it just starts going, and it's more or less lower to mid-level monsters, in it, like. The first encounter they make is with a Gambado, which is like,
I love Gambados.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot of DMs who've used that monster. We need to put that monster.
I have.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
What was the name of this monster again?
Gambado.
Gambado, Gambado. It is a skull that sits on the ground, and people walk by it like, oh, look, it's an animal skull or a monster skull. Unbeknownst to them, there is a giant muscle of beast buried up to its neck underneath that skull. The skull is actually the head of the creature, and it jumps out like a pogo stick and then attacks the PCs unbeknownst to them as they pass by 6 or 7 of them buried in an area as it hunts.
Yep.
So you get a chance to fight them.
Yes.
Yeah, once you realize that they're not just actual inanimate skulls laying down, and there's actually creatures attached to the skull that have buried themselves like antlions and then shoot up out of the air.
So that would be Mombado the Forbidden Dance.
Oh, wow. Wow, Glenn. Really? Holy crap. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Can't see my toothy smile.
Oh, that hurts. So, as you're going through each section, so to speak, you run into a third level half orc fighter with 4 boogans as his, as thing. Yeah, exactly. And I think the boogans is one that is like a FR specific monster. I have to look it up. As a matter of fact, I'll look it up right now.
No, that's a bush. No, I'm thinking of bougainvillea. Sorry.
Wow. You're in rare form tonight, Glenn. Jeez.
I use my deodorant.
That's good. So, as you're going through each one, there are different challenges. Let's see, there's one section where there's a pool. And, basically, there's different ways to get around the pool, and of course, if you're not careful, you will be killed by it. Also, yes, and there's the cave badger. There's the cave badger that Fawn mentioned.
Badger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a pretty nasty monster, too, for 2 hit dice. Shoot, it can do a lot of damage. And then, once you get to Section 8, that's when you started running into drow patrols. Which, of course, is, depending on your party's level, it's one of those things where you really have to be careful because, even a patrol of 3 second-level fighters can easily take out an equivalent party just because of the abilities that drow have, not to mention their enchanted weapons that they have. So it's one of those where you've really got to be careful. And there are, as you're running around, you start running into also potential allies like Tyrandale Talltails, 3rd level dwarven
Talltails.
Mm-hmm.
Say that 10 times real fast, yeah.
Oh, get this one. There's even a section where the party runs into a gelatinous cube, and they basically call it the Cube and Missile Crisis.
Yes. I love that.
As you get deeper into this dungeon, the puns get worse. Like there's one called Gambling Death, where you might actually run into another Gambol, or not Gambol, Gambol, yeah, Gambado, yeah. You could run into mongrel men, depending on how you handle them. They could be allies or enemies. And as you're going down, now you're running into like permanent drow illusions, and now you're starting to run into carrion crawlers and things like that. It just keeps going and going. I mean, it goes down quite a ways, and it basically is one of those where I think at the end, I'm looking at it, you run into a 9th level drow wizard, which, he's got tons of magic and tons of magic items that the party can get should they defeat him. But on the way, at least, you can get enough allies to where you're not taking on this mage by yourself. Because he will wipe a low-level party out.
In a heartbeat.
This is one of those things where you're not supposed to run from beginning to this adventure in one night, in one setting. You're expected to go in and out probably a few times, which is why some of the things that you find are shortcuts back out of the dungeon, and then ways to go back in again if you want to resume after leveling up. So you may not necessarily get your butt handed to you, especially if you are hell no, I don't trust any NPCs. They're not coming with us.
Yeah.
Those parties don't exist anywhere at all. And,
no, not at all. Yeah, those are the kind of parties that tend not to last too long because, they just don't want to share their treasure with any potential allies. That's all. So, going in, just on the, let's rate this adventure, shall we? I mean, myself personally, this is the perfect, we've got brand new 1st level characters in Forgotten Realms. They need a few levels in order to survive what I might throw at them later. Let's put them down in the Twisted Tower in the dungeons and see,
put them in
if
the
they
dungeons.
can survive. Yeah.
Oh.
What'd you say?
I said put them in the dungeon. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
see
exactly.
if they can survive that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is a really good introductory adventure, and it's very well written, especially that Greenwood wrote it. With of course some help. Like Jeff Grubb and Don Bingle.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I mean, this is a wonderful little supplement for those just starting off in Forgotten Realms. And the adventure's good. So I'll give it a good 4.5 out of 5.
Well, from the sounds of it, I'd probably give it at least a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, anything like that can be very, very useful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll leave it at that.
Corey?
Artwork, I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a solid 4. It's still the charcoal look of the first run of their second edition artwork styling, and it fits for this piece. Like I said, I love some of the NPCs. I love the ability you can pull half of this crap out of here and use it anywhere else. I'm going to give it a 4.5 also.
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
And Mr. Full-On?
I'll go a nice solid 4 with it as well. It's a good questy type adventure, which will let you have a taste of a little bit everything that you could have. The obligatory drow, the obligatory critter, the obligatory trap, and things to get you confused, and NPCs you can actually trust.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. So that actually comes out, if my math is correct, that's a total of 16. That's a 4 out of 5 from the THACO's Hammer crew.
Yay.
There you go, yay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. That's a
good
thing.
Thing.
If you guys, like I said, you get the box set, we want to know about this stuff. THACOshammer@gmail.com or the phone number.
Corey?
Phone number is area code 405-806-0555.
Well said. Well said.
I think it's the end of another one, isn't it there, Glenn?
Yeah, time to close another Splat book.
Wow.
By the way, I would thank all you people out there who really liked the DM Brainstorm section, or the DM Brainstorm section we did in the last show. And that will be soon its own podcast. But in the meantime, we will follow up with this on as a section on on future shows.
Yes.
Until we get the
we get the new show up.
Yeah, until we get the new show. So
hosted by yours truly and Glenn. And others.
Yeah.
And the rest
here on Gilligan's Isle.
Well, I know what this looks like, and the rest is, well, anyway. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, we're gonna have a whole lot of fun, but in the meantime, look for more DM Brainstorm coming up. Not this show, but coming up.
Yep.
All right. Say goodbye, Corey.
Good night, folks. And don't forget, whenever your Gmail turns into all Korean language, you just log in with another one and follow the settings. By the way, guys, it's fixed. Good night, folks.
Good night. How about you, Brian?
And remember, folks, just because Elminster might be home doesn't mean he wants to talk to you.
And Full-On?
Have another wonderful, desperate time awaiting our next Splat book to drop you with a hammer shot to the nuts, Gamer Nation. We'll be back.
This is Dean Glenn, hoping we're not gonna lose our family rating. Saying we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye bye.
We'll be playing We'll be playing Druids and Bards.
I never thought I'd see that.
We'll be playing Druids and Bards.
On putting your family rating at risk with hammer shots.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOsHammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOsHammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.